good fun. Days like these are great. You get the whole industry together, and to have, companies and corporations like Interbet and Cape Racing who are so generous with sort of time and energy into making a day like this possible is it's fantastic for everyone.
Racing takes place out at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Wednesday, the 22nd of May 2024, as the build-up to the Daily News 2000 and the Willavington continues. And looking forward to those two feature races on Saturday. And it's set to be a bumper card come Saturday here at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Joining me in studio is Sheldon. And Sheldon, how are you doing?
Yes, Rahil, nice to be back on the show again. And to viewers out there, welcome, and really looking forward to the card. All good this side of the world. And just looking at the card, I think there's a little bit of value to be had on the card. And it's one of those meetings where you can either come home with a lot of money or you can go home with absolutely nothing. We're hoping that we go home with a lot.
Absolutely. We're looking to, hopefully we can guide the guys in the right direction. And it all begins in race number 1 over 1,200 meters. 12:15 is the off time. It's a maiden plate that will get the day started for us. And having a look at the lineup, your favorite is number 2, Her Royalty, at 28-10. Number 1, Top Gun, is at 7-2, along with number 3, Professor Lupin. Number 9, Turnaround, is at 7-2. It's in 7-1 and Better Bar Those. Now, Sheldon, when having a look at this field here, I thought that number 1, Top Gun, could take a significant step forward on his debut run. I remember this horse moving down to the start. He was an absolute looker. He's the son of Danon Platina, and Calvin Abib now takes a ride for Paul Lafty, and he steps him up in trip as well to 1,200 meters. And I think from the ace gate, I think that this horse could run a huge race on debut and at his second start rather. And I'm going to make him a top selection. I don't think he was disgraced, beaten 5 lengths behind horses with experience, and I think he should come on. So he's going to be the top selection for me, and then obviously healthy respect for a horse like number 2, Her Royalty. Professor Lupin, I'm sort of just pulling my hair out with this horse at this point in time, because I remember when he was with Vaughan Marshall actually wanted to nominate him for, I think it was a gold medallion as a 2-year-old, but he just never really put his best foot forward and got the job done. And he's now with Alison Reichard and doesn't seem to be putting it all in, but I'm sure one of these days he'll get it right. But number 1, Top Gun, I quite like the look of this horse.
You wouldn't be far off the mark if you look at that fair introduction, 5th behind 21 May. That horse is rated. The horse who ran on strongly for second, also highly rated. So the son of Danon Platina is going to enjoy the step up to the 1,200 meter trip. And looking at the runners, number 3, Professor Lupin, that's the main danger I make. He has had his chances. He has his problems. So number 1, Top Gun, from the best of the draw. There's a lot of improvement to come. He's been around the turn, albeit on the turf. He now steps onto the poly. I see no problem with that. So he's got to be a huge run on that fair introduction. Her Royalty just ran out of steam over the 1,600. So back to 1,200, I think you'll see a better run. And then number 3, Professor Lupin. As you mentioned earlier on, they brought him to KwaZulu-Natal when he was with Vaughan Marshall. And they thought he's going to be a horse to run in the feature races, as you mentioned. Something went badly wrong with him. He had a long break. His 2 comeback efforts over the 1,400 have been fair, but I believe 1,200 meters is his game. So his 3rd run after the rest, career best recorded this trip, and he's the only 3-year-old in the race. The rest of them are all 2-year-olds. Well, there's one other 3-year-old, number 7, Amigo, making the debut, so we'll keep a close eye on that individual. But I believe number 3, Professor Lupin, he did run behind Down by the River, who has franked the form line. He's going to be spot on for the event. So I think between numbers 1, Top Gun, and number 3, Professor Lupin, your winner will come.
Those are 2 horses that you can possibly play around in leg number 1 of that bipod. And if you are looking to include one more, well, then number 2, the filly in the lineup, Her Royalty, does certainly stand out as a potential horse to include in the play as well. But that's race number 1 over the 1,200 meter trip, and it is the start of the bipod.
It's Donovan Everett from Cape Racing, and I'd just like to say it's an absolute pleasure to be involved with Interbet and Cape Breeders in this golf day today here at Pearl Valley. It's fantastic for the industry to see all the relevant stakeholders coming down and having a good time and networking, and it's exactly what the industry needs right now in terms of moving forward and recreating some positivity to take us forward into the next year.